If chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. This is divine timing. You didn't stumble here. You were led by a higher hand, led by a calling that's bigger than your background, bigger than your current circumstances, bigger than what you even think is possible. You felt it, haven't you? The pull, the pressure, the preparation. You've always known deep down that you were set apart, and now that inner knowing is aligning with outer manifestation. This is not just about money. This is about mantle and mission. You're about to be the first in your bloodline to walk in true kingdom wealth, not just to collect riches, but to carry responsibility, to break cycles, to bless nations, to build legacies. This is your millionaire mantle moment, and it comes with more than just bank accounts. It comes with spiritual authority, generational healing, and divine assignment. Let's break it down. 7 chapters of clarity, confirmation, and calling. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this isn't just content. This is a divine financial awakening for the chosen ones. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a sacred code, a prophetic signal to the Most High that you're aligned, alert, and ready to receive. Not just wealth, but the mantle that comes with it. This isn't just about money. It's about mission. And not everyone will make it to the end. Only those who are spiritually mature enough to carry divine prosperity with purpose. Those who stay through the fullness of this message will unlock confirmation, direction, and supernatural strategy that can shift your entire bloodline. And let me tell you, this isn't something you hear once and forget. This is a living word, full of layers, revelations, and divine instructions that will unfold every time you return. So listen closely, because with each replay you'll catch what your spirit might have missed the first time. You're not just being prepared to be the first millionaire in your family, you're being equipped to carry the mantle that wealth was always meant to fund. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. You were born with the blueprint, chosen one. Let's get one thing straight. You were never ordinary, even if life tried to label you as average, even if your surroundings screamed struggle, even if you grew up watching people fight to survive rather than live in abundance. There was something in you, something different, something divine, and no matter how much the world tried to bury it, that seed never died. It just waited for divine timing. You didn't come into this world empty-handed. You arrived with a voice whose blueprint was etched into your spirit, an invisible map designed by heaven itself, a sacred pattern, a calling that would take time to understand but couldn't be erased. This blueprint wasn't given to everyone, because not everyone could carry it. It was given to you because you were chosen. You watched money mishandled. You saw people around you abuse it, worship it, or fear it. You saw homes torn apart over lack. You heard arguments that started with unpaid bills. You witnessed people stay stuck in toxic cycles because they thought they had no other choice. And yet, deep down, you knew there had to be another way. You questioned what others accepted. You dreamed in silence. You imagined freedom while others spoke defeat, because God planted wealth in your spirit long before it showed up in your bank account. And hear this, you weren't drawn to wealth for greed. You were drawn to it for purpose, because money in the hands of the chosen is a weapon for the kingdom. You've never wanted to just make it. You've wanted to make impact, to shift atmospheres, to create opportunities, to fund visions, to break generational curses and build generational blessings. You weren't just born to live in a house. You were born to design communities. You weren't just born to receive a check. You were born to write them for people who've never known freedom. You weren't just born to escape poverty. You were born to expose it and end it in the bloodline that tried to trap you. You see, the reason money couldn't stay in your past seasons wasn't because you were cursed. It's because you were being called. You were in mantle training, not money-making. God had to prepare the character before releasing the currency. He had to teach you stewardship before he gave you scale. Because you don't just carry a vision, you carry a divine infrastructure. What others build for applause, you build from assignment. What others chase from ego, you will carry with humility. You were born with the blueprint. But now, the blueprint has met the builder, and the builder in you is not normal. You carry ancient wisdom, modern strategy, and heavenly authority. You can walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. That's not charisma, that's the mantle manifesting. Everything that didn't make sense in your childhood, every financial trauma, every job you hated, every door that shut in your face, was all shaping your understanding of how not to handle wealth. So when it came, you'd treat it as sacred. Now the Most High is saying, I can trust you. I can trust you with wealth because you've been faithful without it. I can trust you with millions because you've tithed from crumbs. I can trust you with the mantle because you didn't sell your soul for the shortcut. Chapter 2. God let you lose to teach you stewardship, chosen one. Before the elevation came the emptiness. Before the abundance came the drought. Before the reward came the refinement. God let you walk through seasons of lack, not because he forgot you, but because he was forming you. This was never punishment, it was preparation. It was financial warfare turned into financial wisdom. You've known what it feels like to have nothing but faith. To look at your bank account and see red, but still believe for green pastures. To have bills you couldn't pay, and promises you were still praying into. To watch other people succeed with ease while you scraped, sacrificed, and stretched every single dollar. But here's the divine truth. God was never just watching. He was teaching. Every delay, every closed door, every overdraft notice was a classroom. You were in Mantle training school. He was stripping off the mindset of scarcity and planting in you the principles of kingdom stewardship, because chosen ones don't just receive wealth, they reveal responsibility. God had to let you experience what happens when money is mishandled, so when he puts it in your hands, you'll handle it with honor. You had to learn that money without management is a mirage. You had to lose temporary comfort to gain eternal character. You had to realize that wealth doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you've become. And look at you now. You understand value. You no longer crave money for validation. You crave it for vision. You no longer see tithing as a burden. You see it as strategy. You've learned how to sow with intention, how to save with wisdom, how to spend with discernment, and how to invest with legacy in mind. You don't just want riches. You want relevance in the realm of purpose. You're not asking for a flashy life. You're asking for a fruitful life. A life that funds missions, a life that blesses the overlooked, a life that sends your children and your children's children into destiny fully equipped and debt-free. That's why God had to break you first. He had to remove pride, entitlement, impulse, and insecurity. Because those things can't go with you into millionaire status. They'll sabotage your future. So he lovingly let you fail small so you could win big later. You were being conditioned, trained to recognize what matters, taught to manage provision with precision, and all the while heaven was recording your responses. God watched you tithe when you only had a little. He saw you give when you needed help yourself. He noted the times you denied your flesh to stay in alignment with his voice. And now you're ready, not just to receive, but to retain, not just to acquire, but to apply what you've learned in the field of lack to the platform of overflow. You're qualified now, not because of a degree, not because of who you know, but because you've been faithful over little. And now God is ready to make you ruler over much. You won't waste what's coming. You'll work it, you'll multiply it, you'll steward it, because what's coming to your hands is sacred, not just for you, but for the mantle you carry. The world sees millionaires, but heaven sees something greater in you, a kingdom economist, a wealth manager for the Most High, a chosen vessel that understands money as a tool, but the mantle is the mission. And now that you've passed the test of loss, God is releasing the lesson of overflow. Chapter 3. The mantle is what makes you dangerous, chosen one. Let's make something clear. It's not the money that makes you dangerous, it's the mantle. It's the weight of heaven resting on your life. It's the authority you carry when you walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts, not because of your bank account, but because of your assignment. The enemy doesn't fear millionaires. He's seen many of them, some bought, some broken, but a millionaire with a mantle, a consecrated soul, fully aligned with God's voice, equipped with wealth and wisdom. That's different, that's divine, and that's exactly why you've been under attack for so long. You've been hit in your finances because your money has a mission. You've been hit in your identity because your name carries weight in the spirit. You've been hit in your relationships because unity with the wrong people could sabotage what God is about to build through you. You're not a threat because of what you drive. You're a threat because of where you're going. You're not a threat because of your platform. You're a threat because of your purpose. The enemy knew that once you recognized who you are, Once you realized you weren't just gifted but mantled, it would be game over for every generational curse that tried to run your family line. Because here's the truth. You don't just want the bag, you want the blueprint from heaven. You want instruction. You want insight. You want innovation that doesn't just elevate you, it liberates others. You've been forged in fire, refined in silence, tested in private. And now, what God placed on you, the mantle, is about to make public moves. It's the mantle that carries dominion. It's the mantle that gives you strategy that others can't understand. It's the mantle that lets you see trends before they form. It's the mantle that causes favor to chase you down. It's the mantle that makes demons nervous and angels move. And let's be real, the mantle is why you've never fit in. It's why you've always felt the weight of things others could ignore. It's why your conscience is sensitive, your dreams are prophetic, your discernment is sharp, and your warfare has been heavy. Because when God puts a mantle on someone, he marks them for kingdom impact, not convenience. You're not just being raised up to be wealthy, you're being raised up to be wise, holy, and powerful. To walk in boardrooms with boldness, to break chains that have lingered for generations, to speak truth that disrupts wicked systems, to fund movements that set captives free. Your money isn't for show, it's for strategic spiritual warfare. It will build safe havens. It will restore broken places. It will put food on tables, Bibles in hands, vision in motion, and justice where corruption once stood. Your mantle is dangerous to darkness because it carries the breath of God's plan. It is a mantle of multiplication, reconciliation, and restoration. And the moment your wealth and your anointing converge, the kingdom of darkness takes a loss. Chapter 4. You're not just getting wealth. You're rewriting the story, chosen one. This isn't just about a bank account. It's about a bloodline. You're not just about to be the first millionaire in your family. You're about to be the first one to do it God's way. This isn't hustling in the shadows. This isn't compromising your values for $1. This isn't selling your soul for a seat at a table God never prepared for you. This isn't manipulating people, chasing vanity, or trading peace for profit. This is kingdom elevation. This is the rise of the righteous remnant. This is prosperity that comes with purity, influence that comes with integrity, and success that comes with soul alignment. God is using you to rewrite a story that's been playing on repeat for generations. You're breaking cycles that didn't start with you, but they end with you. Cycles of lack, cycles of financial anxiety, cycles of never enough, not knowing how, and watching dreams die in the hands of debt. You saw what money mishandled can do. You saw stress eat up marriages. You saw dreams deferred. You saw people settle, shrink, and stop believing. But God raised you up as a reversal point. You are the divine disruption in your family's narrative. You're not just getting wealth, you're rewriting the blueprint. You will teach your children what you were never taught, how to honor money without worshipping it, how to create wealth without compromising their witness, how to build businesses that bless, how to invest, how to tithe, how to sow, how to grow. You'll fund their futures without guilt. You'll leave inheritances, not just instructions, and most importantly, you'll pass down principles, not just property. Because you understand now, true legacy isn't what you leave in their hands, it's what you plant in their hearts. You're breaking the curse of a poverty mentality that ran through your family like a plague. That mindset that said, we can't, we don't, we never will. It's ending now with your yes to God. You'll no longer be the one watching from the sidelines while others build. You'll be the one leading the charge, building on rock instead of sand, powered by vision instead of fear. And here's what's powerful. When you rise, you won't rise alone. You'll bring others with you. Your elevation will be a signal to your bloodline that new is possible. You'll be proof that a holy life isn't a broke life, that you can love God, walk in purity, operate in integrity, and still own land, build companies and fund causes. God is using you to show the world what righteous prosperity looks like. You are evidence that wealth and holiness can coexist when God is the source. You're about to be the first millionaire in your lineage, but you won't be the last, because the mantle on your life carries multiplication. What starts with you will flow like a river into the lives of your children, your community, your calling. You'll raise a generation that doesn't just make money, they move mountains. You'll model what it looks like to live free, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and others will follow the path you paved, not just because of what you built, but because of how you built it, with God as the architect. This isn't random, this isn't hype, this is prophecy in motion. You are the first, you are the break, you are the blessing, you are the blueprint, and your story, it's being rewritten in heaven so it can transform the earth. Chapter 5. This next level requires obedience, not opinions. Chosen one, let this truth settle deep in your spirit. Your next level is not a group project. You've been chosen, not consulted, not voted in, not handed a comfortable consensus, but called by God. And that calling will often look crazy to the crowd. You'll start making moves that don't fit their logic. You'll stop showing up in places where your spirit doesn't feel fed. You'll say no to what used to feel familiar and yes to what looks impossible, and people will talk. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're acting different. They'll ask why you don't explain your decisions like you used to. But here's the truth, chosen one, you stopped explaining because they were never assigned. They weren't given your blueprint. They weren't handed your burden. They weren't trusted with your mantle. This next level isn't about being understood. It's about being obedient. And obedience doesn't always come with validation. Obedience will often isolate you before it elevates you. God will call you to build with no manual, to walk with no crowd, to move with no confirmation from man, only a whisper from heaven. And that whisper has to be enough. You can't take instructions from people who were never called to carry what's on you. You can't keep shrinking your vision to fit their version. You can't afford to pull your destiny through the lens of their disbelief. They don't see what you see because they weren't shown what you were shown. God is about to give you divine strategies that bypass tradition. He'll drop blueprints in your spirit that don't make sense on paper. Ideas that stretch your faith, assignments that feel bigger than your bank account, steps that seem risky to those still playing it safe. But you've been through too much to doubt him now. You've survived storms that were designed to sink you. You've walked through fire and came out carrying wisdom. You've learned how to trust God when nothing made sense, and he never let you fall. This wealth you're stepping into, it's not going to be unlocked through opinions. It's going to be unlocked through obedience, because favor doesn't follow fear. It follows faith, the kind of faith that moves when God says move, the kind of faith that builds when there's no blueprint but his voice, the kind of faith that looks foolish to man but is backed by heaven. The anointing on your life is tied to your yes, not their agreement. You're not building for applause. You're not chasing platforms. You're not pleasing crowds. You're building by assignment. You're moving on mandate. You're obeying a voice that speaks above the noise. This next level requires a sensitivity to God like never before. You'll have to tune out distractions. You'll have to protect your peace. You'll have to walk away from good advice that contradicts God's voice. Because one moment of obedience can open doors that 10 years of hustle never could. God is preparing you for millionaire-level moves, but the door isn't accessed with connections, credentials, or charisma. It's accessed by obedience, not obedience to culture, not obedience to trends, not obedience to fear, but obedience to God alone.